Okay, let's start for the today's video. Good afternoon, guys. So you can see in the previous section what we done, we created one database, right? So how we can create the database? We have the query, create database, and after the database name, okay? After that, we use that database using by use and the store database name, okay? After that, inside of the database, we created the table using by which command, which query, create table, okay, create table, and after the table name you can see over here we created that like that, okay. After that we saw also the table which one we created. After that we are deleting that database also, and we are deleting to the that table also. This one we done, right now we are learning to the data types. You can see whenever we are writing to the inside of the columns, you know we need to put it the what is data type we are using, right? We have to the data type is like a int, varchar, date type. We have the different types of data type. You can see varchar, sorry, character, varchar, blob, int, in what ting, int, okay. After a big int, beat, float, double, boolean, date, time, and the years. This is we have the different data types, okay. We have the data types. You know every data types having their the own frequent length, okay, means how much length we have the database character. So we have, and even you know the integer we are using integer purpose, right? Int we are using integer purpose, float we are using for the decimal number purpose, after date we are using for the date purpose, time we are using the timing purpose, year we are using the year purpose. So every data types we are using, there is the specific data types we have, okay. There is a purpose. Now after that we even completed to add, we are already adding the values inside of, we done that, okay. Right now we are focusing about the list of the constraint in the mysql. So what is the constraint? Constraint means is the restrictions about your data. Means what happen when the user are filling any information, okay. He's want to trying to the fill any information in your html page, okay. Suppose he put it his name, anything whatever the information he want to put, okay. But when we are want to take that data from the html, we need to put a restriction. Like which kind of restriction? Not null, unique, default, check, foreign key, primary key. These we have to the restriction when we are taking to the data from to the user, okay. Now restriction means what? Suppose I want to simply say that I want this column as the unique id. Unique id means what? I want to simply say, guys, you know, if suppose I want only phone number as the 10 number, okay. So if anybody can put 11 number, that time what happened? That time simply we are not accepting that value. Even if I want to say I want everyone as the unique id, means 1 2 3 4 5 6, and if suppose anyone want to try to the you know another kind of id, means suppose anyone kind of anyone want to add to the same id, so what happened? That data will be not going to the database. Means as a developer we are putting to the restriction when we are taking to the data inside of your database, okay. Now see over here, the constraint means what? The constraint is the database management system include in mysql indeed impose the restriction on the type of data that can be inserting, updating, or the deleting in the database. If the data does not meet the constraint, what? If the data does not meet a constraint defined for a particular column or the table, the database management will rejected the operation and the prevent the individual data from being to the stored. Means simply whenever I'm putting any data, if data is not matched with the constraint, then we cannot able to put data inside of the database. That's it. So which kind of constraint we have? First we have not null. Not null means what? See over here you can see the first id I have, okay. That id I want to you know stop that. I don't want to allow anyone to the put the empty you know empty value. So if anyone putting as the empty value means what? I cannot able to take that data. Means my database will be not accepting that value, okay. This is the first constraint, okay. After that, second constraint, that is called the unique. Unique means what? I want in the id column unique ids, right? If anybody can trying to the put it like a same kind of id number, then what? We are not accepting that data, okay. After, if you can go to the next one, default. Default means what? if suppose anybody not writing anything, suppose there is the column as the city, and this city purpose, suppose anyone are not writing anything, means they are lefting as it is the empty space, then by default over here we are putting as what, the Agra means. You can see the by default I have the Agra value, isn't it? Now if you can go to the back again, we have to the check value. Check means check constraint. Checks constraint means what? If you can see, suppose I taking the age over here and I want every entry as the above 17. You can see the check age is greater than is equal to 80, then only you can take the entry inside of that. Okay, means a constraint is nothing but to the restriction about your data. Okay, and the foreign key and the primary key we will learn when the concept will become. Okay, this is also the constraint, but the main constraint in your syllabus, not null, unique, default, and the check. Okay, now before we are going, let's go to the practical. Okay, let's try to the make this table. Okay, now we are going again back over here. Okay, now after that I am opening to the my workbench. Okay, before that let me, I want to check something. Okay. You can see workbench is open. I want to open that, my instant. Okay, now we have that. Okay, now what are doing? We are making one, we are creating one table. Okay, first database we are creating. So let's create. Let me zoom it that so you can see properly. We need to write over here create. Okay, after that database name. Okay, suppose database name is the, suppose my database name is the anything like suppose I'm taking some entries. So student entry, suppose I'm taking. Okay, so student is the database. After I need to put in middle between create database. Okay, and after that student, my name of the database. Okay, students, I want to put the students. Now I am creating that database. We need to select this all stuff and just say execute. Now see, my query is execute. Let me refresh also. See, my student database is ready. After that I want to use that database, use after that student. Okay, now I'm selecting this and I want to run that. You can see right now it's a black, means I'm selecting my database. Okay. After that, what I'm doing, I am creating constraint. Okay. Before that constraint, we need to create one table inside of that. Right now, table is not created, right? So we are writing create. Okay. We are writing over here create after table. And after table name, suppose I want to create the table name as the person. Okay, person as a name, I'm creating one table. We need to use over here brackets, and in the last section we need to add what, semicolon. Okay, now we are going inside of that and we are writing first column. Okay, may I know the first column is what? Okay, I'm going back again over here. What is the first column? ID. Okay, now let me go back again to the our virtual machine. Okay, first column is ID. Okay, after that second column is what? Name. Okay, after second column is what? Okay, let's check. Second column is what? Age, right? Age, gender, phone number, and this one. Okay, now let's go. We are going again back over here. Okay, ID, name, age, right?